Welcome to the School of Mythosynthesis. We are Katie and Peter, and we're honored to guide you on a journey of awakening, alignment, and becoming. Every week, we bring you tools, teachings, and transmissions designed to enable you to embody your true essence and live from the inside out with clarity, sovereignty, and passion. And today, we want to talk about the shadow aspects of the archetypes. We've talked a little bit about the light and how we can utilize that knowledge and to put it into daily practice. And so today we're going to highlight the shadow sides. So, Peter, what is the shadow side of an archetype?
Thanks, Katie, for your question. When we think about shadows, we think about something that is hidden, it's behind, it represents a reflection of a truth, but it's hidden, it's not visible. So shadow essentially within our psyche, hidden thoughts or emotions, things that we are denying and repressed, thoughts and emotions. And these are all associated with specific archetypes.
Perfect. So, one thing we could say, like a light side of a caregiver, is that they're kind and they're caregivers, obviously. But then a shadow side could be like they might be martyrdoms. Like I might say, oh, I'm going to give this time to Peter and help him with this thing when I don't actually have that time. And then I'll be like, why did, and then I might start to have resentments and different things like that. And then, like with the seeker, they may have that endless curiosity, but there may not be any action with that curiosity. And so they may just spend their whole life seeking. And so, why does it matter to know our shadows?
Good question. It is like the shadow are the unconscious aspects of our psyche. And so it matters for us to bring those unconscious aspects to the light. Because when we bring them to the light and we're not run, by the unconscious, we're not asleep, we then become in full authority or full authors of our own stories.
That's cool. And I do love that in the notes that we talked about earlier, the Ascended Masters teachings and their framing. I like that it talks about how energy never disappears. What matters is how we qualify it. The energy of anger, fear, or doubt can be lifted, purified, and redirected into courage, compassion, or clarity. So, what we see is that the dark doesn't actually have to destroy us, it can transform us when we bring it to the light. Would that be a good way of saying it?
Absolutely, absolutely. That all of the shadow is just energy that is vibrating, that has low vibration. When we bring it into the light, we transmute it into this higher form, and that also elevates us in consciousness.
That's beautiful. Also, a lot of people, when we talk about like shadow work and stuff, it sounds scary when we say it. And I know that you've been through your own dark night of the soul over the last couple of years. Would you be open to just enlightening people to the value of bringing the shadows to the light and how that's impacted your life?
Absolutely. Majority of the times, the average person is living from the conditioning of their childhood and their upbringing. And so they are not living authentic lives. They are living in a version of themselves that has been, so to speak, programmed. Condition just means that it's been programmed by expectation from parents, from siblings, from uncles and aunties, all of those things begins to run the individual's reality. The shadow work then is when a person within them, they feel this stirring or this discomfort, irritability, depression, whatever it is, dark night of the soul. It means that within them, they're uncomfortable with the reality that they've created because an aspect of them knows that there is more to them or more to the gifts they're meant to offer to the world, or there's something more that they're supposed to seek. And so shadow work essentially means bringing up all of those unconditioned thoughts and feelings from the past. You're supposed to be this, your expectation from family and from friends, and bringing all of those thoughts to the surface and recognizing that they're only thoughts that have driven the person's reality. And by recognizing them as thoughts, the fear or the energy that has been given to them to be autonomous is reclaimed back to consciousness. And the person can then live their authentic life, recognizing what their true call is, recognizing what gives them true happiness and joy, and walk in that line. And by so doing, they feel more fulfilled, more satisfied with life. They wake up every day with that excitement and that enjoyment, as opposed to when a person, an individual was conditioned and just following after all of the programming. So shadow work really helps the soul to bring its purpose into the material kingdom, to be a pure conduit for that real reason, that actual reason for that soul. We call it the puzzle piece, the real piece or the real sound a person is supposed to produce in this cosmic orchestra begins to be released into the world and bless the people around them because they are operating from their true power, their true position, and their true potential within the earth.
That's beautiful. So, what I hear you saying is as we uncover these shadows, we bring more of our authentic self to the light and we start to live from who we came to be rather than what society's taught us of who we're supposed to be or how we're supposed to be. And so, in that, we get to then live fully, realizing in the last couple of days, one of the things that I'm most passionate about is helping people to fully live. I've met so many people that on their deathbeds, they have so much regret. So when we can actually take time to discover ourselves, our true selves, and that also, we're also taught that we're here to like make money and be successful. And I know that you've come from a financially successful background and you had a big shift. And to see life isn't about that, it's about so much more. And so this work is what we're here to do. So thank you so much for sharing, Peter. Is there anything more that you want to say about the shadow before we talk about practical application?
I think we hit the nail on the head. The shadow is nothing to be afraid of. Bring it to the light, transmute it and begin to live one's authentic self.
It's beautiful. Thank you. And so, in some practical application that you guys can do at home is you can pause and name it. So, let's say, like the example given before, I may be a caregiver and I may overgive when I don't have the capacity to. So, name it, stop, name it, breathe it, and feel it. We don't want to just shut the door on these feelings. We want to invite them in and see where they're coming from so we can get to that root. Because it might actually be a story that we've created that may not be 100% true. And then lastly, we can transmute it. And so we can use other archetypes to help us to see things from a different perspective, a higher perspective that might help us to be able to embody and to forgive and have compassion. And that's what we're truly here to do is to forgive ourselves and to forgive others. And that's how we heal. And we remember that we're all one. And transformation is not about, again, rejecting the shadow. It's about meeting it, feeling it, and consciously choosing to embody a higher role. Peter, is there anything more that you want to say about that?
Absolutely. There are two ways to transmute the shadow. One is in real time, and the other is through introspection. Real time is a bit, might be a bit challenging for depending on the size of the shadow. A person that is occupied by a certain type of fear, it could be fear of whatever situation it is. And we're going to be talking about fear in subsequent videos, but a person who then becomes succumb to their fear, the shadow that resides within a specific archetype, when it occupies them, they might not be able to, they will probably just respond because of the size of the shadow, like a fear of it could be water or sometimes creatures. If a person is afraid of a specific animal and the animal is right in front of them, they become overwhelmed. So in the sport, they might not be able to transmute that energy of fear. However, with introspection, they can go back after that event. It could be an hour later, it could be a few minutes later, they can go back and transmute it and recognize that, oh, what happened when I faced that creature was that a thought arose in my mind and I believed that thought to be real. I became the victim of that thought, and that's why I responded in that way. And so by learning the lesson, they actually can transmute afterwards. So we can transmit on the spot when we feel the energy arise, but it might be difficult depending on the size of the shadow. Smaller shadows is easy to feel it in your body, like, oh, why do I feel a little bit irritated? Or why do I feel you can feel the smaller shadows, but sometimes the bigger ones overwhelm. And so for the bigger ones, we can transmute them through the process of introspection. We go back, at the end of, the event or at the end of the day, and we transmute all of those negative energies that arose during the day.
Thank you. And that being said, I feel that I'm going to say this on here. A call to action for us, Peter, is to create a guided meditation where we can use Saint Germain's violet flame to transmute that energy and that fear. So look forward to having that be a part of our repertoire as well. So if you guys like what you have heard here, definitely like and subscribe and write in the comments below what you'd like to learn more about. You can also find our work at www.root-awakening.com under School of Mythosynthesis. And so we look forward to continuing to grow together. Sending lots of love.